Hello, my royal lovelies. Welcome back to the channel, and as always, welcome to my home. So I want to continue from yesterday's live stream from the breaking news that Kensington Palace has announced that Catherine has cancer. So we still don't know what type of cancer it is, but it is obviously connected to the abdominal surgery which she underwent in early January. So much has kind of been spoken about since the announcement. We have had overnight, and lots of journalists have had chance to put pieces together and release to the general public. Plus, a lot of royal commentators, on YouTube, on all the different social medias, you and I, we've all had a chance to semi-process this information. And I say semi-process because it's still kind of sinking in, the gravity and the enormity of what has actually been going on behind the scenes amidst all of the media speculation, online, in print, social media, from everywhere. So I first of all want to start by saying that how relieved I think Catherine must feel. I imagine that a big weight has been lifted off her shoulders. Well, we've all heard the expression of a problem shared is a problem halved. And I think in this instance, she shared a problem with many, many, many millions of very concerned people for her health. And I think that must give her a sense of, I can't describe it any other way other than just being able to go, it's not a secret anymore. It's out there. The children know. And they can start to plan and move forward, hopefully with a lot less speculation. We'll speak in a moment about lots of people in the public eye apologising for the way in which they have speculated and come up with wild and mad conspiracy theories. We will also talk about Harry and Meghan, how they have sent a message. But we'll start by talking about the King. So the King, as we know, is going through his own cancer battle. And he didn't release this as like a message on social media, but it was released as a statement via the royal press. So he announced that he is so proud of Catherine for her courage in speaking as she did. A spokesperson says the King has remained in the closest contact with his beloved daughter-in-law throughout the past weeks. So it's not something that you would particularly want to bond over, but I do think that this has probably brought the King and Catherine even closer than what they were before. Having, going through a shared experience at the same time is something that definitely can unite and bring even closer. So just thinking back to when Catherine and William and the Wales children spent the previous school holiday, and they went back to Anmer Hall in Norfolk on the Sandringham estate, and the King and the Queen were there as well at Sandringham. It just goes to show, I think, behind the scenes how much unity there would have been. So yeah, I think definitely the King and Catherine are connecting now on an even deeper level than what they have previously done before. And I think it also helps having other people, and I say helps, it's a weird thing to have to say, but it sadly helps, because I don't really want anyone to go through this, but it does help them all when there are other family members or close friends going through the same thing at the same time. So the King, Sarah, Duchess of York, and I think they will all be a really big help and support to each other. So I think that was very important to say. Now, what I do want to do is go to, and I've got lots and lots and lots of windows open here, so do forgive me. There are lots of celebrities and conspiracy theorists and journalists that are now coming out and apologising. They have egg most definitely on their face. So this tweet is from the founder of Girls Who Code, who once collaborated with Meghan. So Reshma says, I just saw the Kate Middleton news and I feel so disgusted. Disgusted with the internet and even disgusted with myself because I fell into the trap. This is a classic example of what we do to women, of how when a woman takes time to prioritise her health and take care of her family, we second guess it to the point of coming up with conspiracy theories to explain her self-care. It encourages other women to hide and not take the time they need and deserve. It's a vicious cycle, and we do need to do better, myself included. Well, I absolutely agree. Let's see if we can find another one. This is from Blake Lively. I'm sure no one cares today, but I feel like I have to acknowledge this. I made a silly post around the Photoshop fails frenzy, and oh man, that post has me mortified today. I'm sorry. Sending love and well wishes to all, always. There are also many people, just regular people on Twitter who are, basically realizing the error of their ways. So I will pop some pictures up of the tweets as we go along. One person who is not really apologizing is a Harry and Meghan stan and supporter, Christopher Bowsey, who says, I am sorry to hear Kate has cancer and I hope she has a full recovery. But you never want to put but in the middle of a sentence where you're wishing someone well from a cancer diagnosis. But it is also clear that all 3 earlier photos of her were fake. He's still on the fake photo bandwagon. Yes, we know there was photo editing. Catherine herself admitted to the photo editing, the Photoshop. So why keep going on? Christopher Bowsey continues. He threw his wife, who is battling cancer, under the bus with the photoshopped image, and then he wasn't even in the video by her side to give her moral support while she shared her cancer diagnosis with the world. This is saber-rattling to the nth degree. I think what happened with the Photoshop photo is that William took the photo. I have got no doubt in my mind that Prince William, the Prince of Wales, took the photo. Catherine then was the one who edited the photo, and then obviously they distributed it to the media. So I think Catherine felt very much a personal responsibility for the photo. Yes, William took it, but it was Catherine that edited it. And I think she took the very personal decision that she wanted to be the one to apologise. I don't think William threw her under the bus. I don't think there was any kind of skullduggery going on to that nature. I think it was Catherine just taking responsibility for something that she felt was her fault. So regardless of cancer diagnosis or not, I just think, she was taking ownership of a situation which she felt she was responsible for. And I don't think it was anything to do with Prince William. In fact, Prince William, for all we know, could have been saying, say nothing. Don't say anything. Just wait. And, but I think she really wanted to. And I think that is what we're looking at. A woman taking control of her own apology, if you like. And, what she felt she was responsible for. With regards to William not sitting in the video, again, I think this is something that Catherine felt that she needed to address herself personally on her own. Yes, William could have been just sat there quietly by her side, holding her hand. But I think she wanted to do it herself. There was no reason why William would not be there. So this doesn't even make any sense. Why would William not be sat there by her side unless she wanted to do it herself? And I think that is again what we are seeing. She was delivering a piece to camera. There were no cuts. There were no cut jumps in it. So there can be no conspiracy theories around that. It was spoken from the heart. It was obviously something, maybe she had a teleprompter in front of her, who knows? But she was reading it from the heart. And I think she wanted it to be a connection between herself and the public. And again, I think it was her choice, her taking ownership of her own illness, that William was not there. I'm sure he was there, probably behind the scenes. He was probably there in eye shot, and he has been. No one can say that he has not been supportive. Going back to, it all makes sense. It all makes perfect sense. And I said in my video, do you remember when he missed the King Constantine memorial service, and then I think it was the day after or the day after that, he was seen doing an investiture, and he was rocking and like this, and he wasn't standing still. And lots of people were saying he was drunk, blah blah blah. No, I said in my video that I thought he looked like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. He looked exhausted, and I likened it at the time to when I was up awake for 24 hours, more than 24 hours, travelling on different aeroplanes. And when I got back to the UK, before we even got home, and we got another 5 hours to get home, I was exhausted, and I looked and felt exactly the same as what he did. I was sort of wobbly and rocking on my feet. He hadn't slept, and that was around the time that Catherine had the diagnosis confirmed that it was cancer. So he had the weight of the world on his shoulders, and people were being so mean to him. Other people were saying, when he missed King Constantine's memorial service, people were saying, and they were so convinced that he'd had a stomach bug or that kind of thing. And I said, no, that's a possibility. It is a possibility that he had a stomach bug or, some kind of 24-hour illness. But I said, no, I think it really was something connected with Catherine. So I was right on that score, and other people were wrong. It was for this very, very personal reason. But William has been carrying the weight of the world, and not only that, but he must be thinking back to his own loss as a child, and thinking about his 3 children, potentially going through a bereavement. Now, I don't think we are at that stage. But I think when it was first diagnosed to them, his mind must have been absolutely racing. He will have gone instantly back to that dark place of loss, and he will have not wanted that for George, Charlotte and Louis, who are even younger than what he was when he lost his mother. Now, we know he lost his mother in different circumstances, but he will not wanted to have gone through a bereavement, losing his wife, and then having that for his children as well. So in the right when it was announced to them that Catherine had cancer, his mind would have gone to that place. Now, I think since she started treatment, preventative sort of aftercare treatment of the chemo, hopefully they're feeling a lot better. And Catherine did say in her statement that she is well, and she is telling the children that she is well. So I like to think that whatever form of cancer it is, they have removed it as an entity, and that the cancer treatment that she's on, the chemo, is just to kind of mop up any cells that may be remaining or floating around to prevent them from, becoming a secondary cancer or it returning in some other form. So we all have our fingers crossed that that is working and that she is well. I hope that doesn't kind of cross over into further speculation, but William, you can't, this Christopher Bowsey is just disgusting for even mentioning that. He says there will be people who will try to twist this into being mean to Kate. He's being mean to Catherine and William. When from day one I have called out the palace and the press, Kate wasn't releasing blurry fake photos of herself. No, she was trying to recover, and there were obviously people, press, foreign press, and it's the foreign press that don't have the same kind of unwritten deals, if you like, with the media. So the British press were actually keeping their distance in terms of taking photos, but foreign press, if they're out in public and people with their cell phones, those sorts of photos get released. So no, I think he is being absolutely disgusting at this time. William had the weight of the world on his shoulders, thinking about his kids, thinking about his wife, and they did not tell this to the wider family. We've had, do you remember Gary Goldsmith, who was on Big Brother, Catherine's uncle? Well, he did a magazine interview before news broke, and he did not know about this. So he's apologised, saying, look, the interview that I did was prior to this announcement. So his own sister hadn't told him. I mean, I can quite understand why, because he is a bit of a blabbermouth. So, he didn't know. Harry and Meghan also sort of claim that they did not know, which kind of shows how the kind of bubble of secrecy. I only think Catherine's close family, I think William's close family, very, very close circle, including the King and the Queen, they are the only ones that knew about it. And, you know, you can kind of think back to the articles a few days ago about the data breach at the hospital. Did that also kind of force the announcement? Did somebody actually get wind and access to the information and perhaps had sold it to one of the newspapers, and then that was threatening to break? So did that actually force it? But obviously the official line is that they waited until the Easter holidays. It's 2 weeks off for the school children. So George, Charlotte and Louis will have time to adjust privately to this news. And of course, the kids were told prior to the announcement going out. The announcement, I believe, was recorded on Wednesday and was released on Friday night. So that there was a few days, I think, for the children to get used to it before it became public knowledge. And of course, they have 2 weeks of the Easter holidays to get used to it without being hounded by friends, school friends, saying, you know, asking questions and, you know, mentioning that their mother has cancer. I hope the school has got measures in place to sort of limit, I suppose, the questions or comments that might be put to George, Charlotte and Louis. So as I mentioned previously, we do not believe that Harry and Meghan were aware of this. Had they been aware of it, would, for example, Meghan have tried to harpoon the Diana Awards ceremony, of which Harry was also a part of, via video link? I mean, I do still find it really strange that Meghan literally tried to harpoon the Diana Awards and also overshadow her own husband's part in it. Well, actually, I'm not surprised that Meghan would like to overshadow her husband. But anyway, that's a completely different issue for another day. Would Meghan and Harry have tried to kind of, you know, harpoon by launching American Riviera Orchard had they known about Catherine? I don't know. Are they that cruel? We are going to have to speculate on that one. But people connected to Harry and Meghan kind of released to Harper's Bazaar Meghan and Harry's kind of comments on the situation. They apparently have said, "We wish health and healing for Kate and the family and hope they are able to do so privately and in peace." Well, peace and privacy is not something that comes quite easily to Harry and Meghan, is it? And, you know, health and healing. Well, I wish that Harry and Meghan had felt the same about health and healing and peace and privacy when they were harpooning Harry's own grandparents on separate occasions. The Duke of Edinburgh, obviously, when he was passing away, and obviously Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth when he was, you know, about to release that horrible memoir Spare during her lifetime, which he postponed until after her funeral, just so he could get a few more pages out of it. Anyway, I wish they had taken their own advice during those times. So it just seems a little bit rich coming from them now. And it makes you wonder how much lip service this is to the public. I mean, we saw lip service, you know, this sort of drastic dash from the US back to the UK when King Charles announced that he had cancer. We've not seen, you know, Harry rushing back to see Catherine. I don't think we're going to see that. It was bad PR for Harry when he did it for the King, so I don't think he's going to repeat it again. Now, there's always an ulterior motive with Harry and Meghan. We could, for example, take this at face value, a nice, supportive, well-meant, well-intended message for a beloved sister-in-law, or we can look at it a little bit more with speculation, that there perhaps is a little bit of lip service and perhaps a little bit of PR spin, trying to make out that they are caring and compassionate, when we know full well from their own words, deeds and actions that they are anything but. So this part of the video, I'm just going to kind of recap on pretty much everything that we know to date, try and get as many facts in as we possibly can. So what type and stage of cancer is it? Well, currently there has been no announcement of what type of cancer it is, and we do not know at what stage. So that is the official line. So if anyone is saying they know what it is or what stage it's at, they don't. What we do know is that she had abdominal surgery, and it was found as a result of that from tests carried out afterwards. So it's that region. We do know that whatever it is to do with that region. So it could be bowel, it could be something to do with maybe the female reproductive system. But we do not know. So we're going to have to leave it at there. What we do hope is that they caught it early rather than late. What treatment is Catherine having? Well, we know that it is chemotherapy. We don't know if it is via an IV or whether it is via tablet form. And we are not going to necessarily know about that. But what we do know is that chemotherapy can be used to shrink a cancer before treatment, but we know that Catherine has already had the treatment. It can also be used afterwards to kind of mop up any cells that may be remaining or travelling around the body. The Palace has said that she started a course of preventative chemotherapy in late February. So we think that she spent some time recovering from the operation before starting the treatment. Where and how often will she be treated? So she does have a right to medical privacy, and we do not know the answer to that question. What we do know is that she has been treated as an outpatient, and she has been treated at a private hospital called the London Clinic, where she had her operation. So has she been having the treatment at home or in the hospital? Well, we've seen her mostly at home. So, one can guess and speculate on that, but the truth is we don't actually know. The Palace is kind of saying that tests were completed and results reviewed at the time of her abdominal surgery. So the Palace said initially that it was non-cancerous, which is what doctors believed. Then after the tests confirmed that she did have cancer on whatever it was that she had removed. It had been found, it was present. Why is Kensington Palace sharing this information now? Again, it says here the princess wanted to share this information when she and the prince felt it was right for them as a family. And that is what a spokesperson from the palace said. She has put the well-being of her children first, and she has told them before making a public announcement. And as I said, we do think it has coincided with the Easter holiday to give the children a chance to have everything sink in and to ask any questions that they want to from their parents before going back to school. When will the palace be providing a further update? Obviously, their Royal Highnesses understand the interest, and there will be potentially updates in the future as and when it is needed, but they are very, very thankful for the public support. Kensington Palace said that they will provide information when the time is right and the princess is able to restart work and her duties. In the meantime, we would ask that the family's privacy is respected. Catherine is apparently determined to go about her normal routine, which she sees as an important part of her recovery. Will Prince William continue working? A spokesperson for the palace said the prince will continue to balance supporting his wife and family, maintaining his official duties as he has done since the start of the year. So basically, I think we can take that as we'll see him when we see him, when it's sort of appropriate to do so. So I urge people, if you haven't seen Catherine's video already, to go and watch that, because there is nothing like the words from the person themselves. Okay, so as the news slowly sinks in, I think there has been a lot of pressure eased from the media side of things, from the public social media side. And I think, you know, Catherine, as I said at the start of this video, must be feeling a real sense of relief that it is out in the open and that she can continue with her healing as privately as she possibly can. I think we will see her when we see her. There may still be plans for her potentially to attend Trooping the Colour, but I think everything is kind of up in the air. It is very much dependent upon how she is feeling at the time, how the treatment is going. So I urge everyone to show respect, consideration and kindness during this time. I know pretty much everyone on this channel has done that. So thank you for watching this video. If further details become available, I will update you. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it and or found it useful, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and of course do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, to you all, and goodbye.